Hi there, fight fans. My name is Kian Lang, and I'm very happy to say that I'm today joined by Mr. Octagon, Bryan Lacey, to look ahead to Octagon 74 this weekend. Bryan, thank you very much for joining me. How are we doing today?
Mr. Octagon. That's
Mr.
it. It sounds
Octagon.
like I'm not sure I can quite claim that yet, but for this interview, I'll take it, mate. I'll take it. I'm good. Nice to see you, and I'm excited. I'm going to meet you, Kian. That's the main thing.
I know. I made the promise last time at the end of the last time we spoke, so I felt like this is the last one of summer. I've got to keep it at some point. So we just about
I was
got
wondering.
in.
Over there, you can't see it on this wall, but there's a countdown to Kian's last chance. The promise that was made, and I'm not saying I've looked at it every day and scraped in my own blood each day off, but I'm glad you're coming this weekend. That's very exciting indeed.
I can't wait for it. And I mean, we said just now there's no real better place to start. Stvanice, one of the most incredible arenas in all of mixed martial arts. I mean, can you talk to me about the atmosphere that gets created in this arena? It's just mind blowing.
It's magic. Magic is the adjective. It's a venue they fell into by accident. They were looking for venues in Prague. This is in their early days, and Andre plays tennis as well. Andre is one of the owners of Octagon. So this place is where he would play tennis, and then they decided to put an event on there. But what has happened since, and what that venue means to Octagon, is something special, because it's not pretty. It's kind of an old venue. But what happens when we get in there and the fights come and you've got the atmosphere, and it's not in our terms a big one. I think it's like 7,000 fans, and it's more than the fights. And I felt it the first time I went there, because people talked to me about it when I was first with Octagon. They said, "Oh, you're going to have your first Stvanica, like you're going to have this weekend." That's what I'm jealous of, my friend. And it didn't disappoint. It was the fights live up to it. It's something special. You're in the open air in Prague on this little island in the center of the city. But it's the atmosphere. It's the relationship. What I felt was, it's like a real poignant venue and night for the relationship between the fans and Octagon. And the fact it's come back, because we kind of left that venue behind for, I don't know for exactly what reasons, but a couple of years out. But for us to come back and it to be this weekend, it's like it's a different type of fight week. So you can sum it up yourself when you've been there, and that's what's going to be beautiful. It's my favorite thing when new people come to Octagon, whether it's fighters, media, friends, family. Their reaction and what you take away is what I'm excited to hear next week, my friend.
I can't wait for it. It feels like one of those venues that feels very personal. You know, you mentioned between the fans and Octagon in itself, it's so close to the cage. It feels like the top of the stand is almost on top of the cage, and it creates that sort of cauldron in a way. I mean, I just can't wait for it.
Mate, Coliseum. Yeah. It truly is. And it's, you put it very well there. You're so close to the cage. The walkout's not a big, long one, but they're always special. And I think, you talk about some of the British fighters that have fought there. Akon Wanless made his debut there. Shamrock has fought there. It's even Armand Herxega's fought there as well. There's some great experiences, and the venue is a character in the fight week. It's not just a building, it's something as well alongside it. But on top of that, we just happen to have some fucking awesome fights as well, mate.
I mean, it's one of the most stacked cards of the year. It kind of progressed, and every time there was a fight announced, you thought it can't get better than this, and they'd add another and I mean, you look at it now, we could sit here and talk about all 10 fights for about an hour each. They just jump off the page as fight of the nights. But unfortunately, no time for that. But I've got 5 that I want to break down and get into.
All right, thank God. Let's go. Let's do it. You lead the way.
I can't take all your day. Well, I mean, what better place to start than the first fight of the night? Mihaela Hlavachikova taking on Neem Kinahan. They both fought in a Muay Thai contest just a year ago. Kinahan, of course, winning by decision. I mean, how excited are you to see both these women make their mixed martial arts debuts?
Oh, they've got so many accolades, and I was asked to pick like what fight people should look at. And you've got UFC stars on there. You've got titles on the line, Tip Sport, Game Changer. But this is so interesting for me because at the top of the card, we've got the ladies fighting it out for that bantamweight title. We're kicking this off with what I think will be the first step. And both of them could be superstars, but one of them will emerge, with the light shining on them this weekend. you look at Halachikova and all she's done in the Czech Republic, multiple time national champion. She's got to, I think, medaled in the Worlds. She's fought Neve Kinahan for that WBO title, WBC, sorry. And you just look at her. She's phenomenal. She's great. She's beaten Lucia Svabova in Muay Thai. She's got a victory over the champ in Muay Thai. But then you look at Neve Kinahan and that journey she's gone. There's not many fighters on the planet that have racked up the belts at lightweight, at super lightweight like she has. I mean, to hold a WBC for 3 years, to fly around the world, ISKA title, every single belt you could lay upon a martial artist, she's had it wrapped around the waist or put on her shoulder. She's come from Frank's gym, the Muay Thai gym up in Manchester, and she's looked phenomenal. Like, just every bit the star. You listen to like Liam Harrison talk about her and her skills and how devastating she is and her potential, and you know that is not, those words don't come lightly to a fighter like that. And then you look at where she's training now at Aspire with the likes of Dean Garnett, Liam McCracken, Marlon as well down there. You've got Aaron Abbey training there regularly as well. She's put herself in a very uncomfortable position because the spotlight will be on her. But I am super excited to see how she does for her debut in just 5 days' time, mate.
It's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be one of those fights where people can really see the level of these two women. I mean, we're not so used to seeing maybe that elite level of Muay Thai and mixed martial arts, and both of these just bring that in spades. Do you think there's a potential that we might see it maybe hit the mat and one of them try and show off this grappling skill they've learned?
That's the fact. Is in MMA they have that option, and when you're under pressure in Muay Thai, the clinch is there, and there's not much of an escape till the referee sort of separates you. But in MMA, if you are getting the shit kicked out of you, you've got an option. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to try and take you down. So it could be a case of it's one of those old things. The shootout of who shoots first might be a telling tale. But I think they're both taking this seriously. And although they're elite in this sport, they're still learning in MMA. And I always liken it to languages. They are fluent in Muay Thai. They are fluent in the striking arts. But you add to that the grappling, the submission stuff, everything in between that comes with an MMA fight, even the setting, the cage, what that cage wall brings, what that feels like, what the difference between the ring and the cage, and even the walkouts. It's who copes with the pressure best, I think. But I think they're both going to want to show that they're more than just Muay Thai fighters. And when you look at Zvabova as the example, you go all the way to the top of the card. She has got, I think, 4 armbars on her record already. 4 finishes by knockout, 4 finishes by armbar. It's beautiful to watch. And I think the fact we start with ladies and we finish with ladies is another awesome thing for mixed martial arts.
I couldn't agree more. And if we get a standing Americana like Svabova did last time out,
let's go.
I think my head will fall off. My head will fall off.
Against a UFC fighter or a former UFC fighter as well. So mad, absolute madness.
It's a crazy start to the card, and it kind of gets better from there. Of course, 2 titles on the line on the night. The first, the men's bantamweight title, Igor Severino. We've got Elvis Silva stepped in on the late notice.
I'm going to stop. Yeah, I don't know when this goes out, but the reason I was looking down at my phone, I just got a message. Yeah, 1:45. So I only just looked at my messages. I was opening up 2:45, and Elvis Silva is out of the fight.
Wow. Okay. Do we have a replacement?
We've already replaced Cartwright. We've already pushed Silva into that, and now Silva's out. So I would be amazed if we. And there is a further. I've read now the rest of it, and Severino is out as well. So both of them would have been pulled from this card, but that's breaking for you, mate. How's that? And look, now you can pick now you can pick another fight to talk about. But I'm a bit gutted about that. I'm gutted for Cartwright. I don't know what the injury was, but he looked phenomenal against Mate Sanakidze. I'm gutted for the bantamweight division. When I think of that, I think of Jonas Magard. He was waiting to see who his next opponent would be with this one. Elvis Silva, he looked great against Roman Paulus, so him stepping in on short notice. Again, I think he's 35 or 36, and he'll be taking on a 21-year-old for the belt, both from Brazil. So your generational fight there for that. but it is what it is, isn't it? This is mixed martial arts, and I'm gutted. I hope we get the Cartwright fight remade because I would love to see that. But either way, it's yeah. We've got more fights, mate. Don't worry, we've got more to talk about.
Exactly. It's one of them that it can always be a blessing in disguise. I was gutted as well when we lost the Cartwright one, so. Hopefully, if that's the one that gets rebooked, it could be a blessing in disguise one day.
I'll do you a favour as well. I won't check my phone again during this interview. So if anything does change, we'll both talk about it. We'll both talk about it like it hasn't happened.
Exactly. And I mean, we'll swap in straight away. The Tip Sport Game Changers, of course, taking place. We've got 4 quarterfinals. I'd love to talk about, if that one's gone, Krzysztof Jotko. He's taking on Marek Mazuk. I mean, this is like experience versus inexperienced, but just youthful exuberance inside the cage is what I think of when I think of Marek. It's just, it feels like it's going to be a 15-minute war to me, this one.
Yeah, and Chepo came out of this. He was the one who won the first round. Mazuk lost his fight against Piotr Wawrzyniak back in Karlovy Vary. But Mazuk was voted back in, and it's almost like for like. Both from Slovakia, both known for their knockout power, both absolute animals, both love to fight, make it just a war. And then on the flip side, you've got Jotko, who's got no fear of grinding out a fight. He knows he has got such dominant control, like we saw against Jon Serdu. He's got 17 fight experience from the UFC, trains every single day, and the pinnacle of his career, where I think he got to number 17 or something like that in the world. He was training with Dustin Poirier every day. He's training with Colby Covington back then when he was there. All the monsters from American Top Team, where he's now based, are his daily spars, his daily, and those are matchups you'd watch anyway. But he has, put himself from Poland by way of Germany to move out to American Top Team. Never lost outside the UFC, and he is just. He's such a difficult puzzle because he is, again, one of those fighters, you know what he's going to do, but can you stop him doing it? And the great antidote to that is power punching, because that can change the fight. You can have 15 or 14 minutes and 45 seconds of control from Jotko. You only need Mazuk to connect once to change the course of that fight. So yeah, it's interesting. I think the big favourite will be Jotko, but Mazuk is one of the scariest human beings I've ever met. Special forces fighter for Slovakia, farmer as well. So, that stupid farmer strength that comes with all of that. Spars with Martin Buday, spars with Chepo, spars with Radovanushka. Just a beast. And when you stand there, he doesn't speak. You just feel him. It's just like, yeah. So we'll see if he can overcome that Polish grappling and Jotko on Saturday.
And for Mazuk, you mentioned there getting this second opportunity. Sometimes it takes the pressure out, I feel. You've already experienced that feeling of losing and going out the tournament. Do you think he can come into this one now? He's experienced, the worst thing that could happen to him in this tournament. Now, he might as well just go out there and fight with freedom, which when you have that sort of power, that's a scary, scary thought.
If he fights any freer than he already fights, that will scare the hell out of me, because he's one of these people, and I'm sure the moments can get to him, but you jump back to that Zavada fight, that was in the open air arena, and he demolished him. He was a massive underdog. People thought the experience, the style, the skill set, the fight IQ of Zavada would be too much for Mazuk. And it was one of the worst beatdowns Zavada's ever felt, one of the worst that I've called, just very one-sided. So that freedom comes, but you're right as far as the pressure. Now the pressure's off. I think that might be something that plays into the favour of Mazuk. So we shall wait, we shall see.
And from there, it only really gets better. I think for me, my fight in the night, the one that I'm kind of looking forward to the most is Dominic Humberger against Mark Hulm. This to me is just, it's a perfect matchup as you could get. I mean, Humberger, 8 knockouts. He's never been finished. No wins by submission. On the other side, Hulm, 8 submissions, no knockouts. He's never been finished. These two men, they're so similar in so many ways and yet so different. It's such a great matchup.
It's the beauty of the Tip Sport Game Changer. It is, I mean, it's such a draw. It's not just about a fight. You're not signing for a promotion for a belt. These are legacy tournaments. You are putting yourself in the middle of a bracket of your weight class, of the scariest, most, renowned fighters in their prime that you could put yourself up against. Add to that, you pick your poison. Like each of these fights, the fighters picked them in the Tip Sport Game Changer draw after the last of the opening rounds in Carlo Vivari in Octagon 70. The fighters are the ones who determined who they would fight next. So Hulm stood next to Humberger. Have you watched the Octagon Showdown yet? Have you seen that?
Do you know, I watched it yesterday, and that was one of the best videos I've seen in a long time. It was so interesting seeing the backstory between both men.
Because we got the footage of them being picked, and even the honesty of Humberger when his coach was kind of like, oof, this is Mark Hulm. And Humberger didn't know he was there, didn't even know who he really was. And now he's facing him, and he's had to watch those videos, watch him face Andreas Michaelides, watch the video where he's in South Africa, and he tells you that as a kid, one of his toys was an axe. He used to go around killing rats. Mark Hulm is so unique, and he's always been like this. I don't know. I don't think he's really had the dues he deserves, because he was the 2-time EFC champion, 2-weight EFC champion as well, welterweight and middleweight. Fought in ACA, ACB against monsters out there, and then has come to us without really a big name, but those of us who know him know he is a big problem. That's the thing, and we saw it with Michaelides. He's unique, he's wild, he's a little bit crazy, he's proven, and then on Humberger you've got this new star in Octagon, and he is that. You look at the debut, fighting in KSW the night before, then stepping into the Octagon cage to announce that he's now an Octagon fighter the day after, drama around that, then his first fight against Pirat Kristofic, who's a fighter he looked up to for his entire career, or even before he started fighting. Then that win over Pirat, where he had to overcome himself in the cage to realize, I've got to beat this guy, and he changed it in the second round, demolished him, did that salute, and then from that moment he's been part of all the big tournaments. The Army have given him special commissions, and he's even been like the face of their charity brand. He is special. I said it in the showdown. He is their Captain America. He really is. His grappling, though, is where he's yet to be truly tested. And Mark Hulm is proven in that area. He's, training partner of Dricus du Plessis. Most of his wins are by submission. He was almost upset at Michaelides that he couldn't finish him with his fists, couldn't finish him by KO, because he thought, I'm going to get a KO, I'm going to get one. But then went down and got the beautiful, the guillotine. So this is a great fight. I think that the walkout, and you're going to be there, you'll see what that guy Humberger means to the Czech fans. And then a guy who's not afraid to spoil the party, who will not be fazed by being on enemy territory, because that's where he's fought his whole life, will be Mark Hulm. So I think for me, now we've lost Peñas out of the tournament, whoever wins this could very well be the favourite for the whole tournament.
It's so interesting, and I love that you mentioned there, Hulm. He feels like if any guy would love being booed by a crowd, it seems like Mark Hulm would be that guy. It feels like if people loved him, he'd almost be disappointed walking to the cage. He'd rather have those boos.
But he's so lovable as well. He's the quirkiest motherfucker I have ever met in my life. He is so, and I mean this with all respect, Mark, weird. The way he lives his life, that whole thing during COVID, he walked to find God. He walked 1,500 kilometers, climbed 13 mountains or something stupid. So they did this mountain challenge where there's 13 peaks. I don't know if they're all mountains, and didn't find God, but kind of found himself, and was really realigned himself into this life of fighting. He will love it, and I think by the end of it, the crowd, even if he wins, I think the crowd will love him, because he doesn't do boring fights. He's not a submission guy that just grapples you against the cage. He's not a lay and pray guy. He's a finisher, and he knows the task at hand. Oh, and even in poking Humberger by calling him a toy soldier. How dare you? Like, how dare you? This guy has literally given his life up for his country, ready to fight. But you're calling him toy because he hasn't been called to fight in those colours yet. So it's awesome, mate. And again, it's the beauty of this Tip Sport Game Changer. Each season has given us matchups we would never have, personalities and people in Octagon that, the fans, me as a commentator, might never have experienced. And then these moments, you look at some of the highlights from Hulm winning against Michaelides, from, Peñas knocking out Zavada, from Humberger entering the tournament against Pirat. It's a movie. It's a goddamn fucking movie. And we get the next episode, the next series of that, or the next chapter, I should say, on Saturday night.
And on Saturday night, we get the champion going in there again, a man who hasn't lost in 13 years, in Karim Engizek. He's taken on Mick Stanton. And I mean, like you said before, people pick their matchups, and Mick had first choice, and he went straight after Engizek. I mean, it felt like a shockwave was sent round the whole organization at that point. I mean, your thoughts on Stanton taking this matchup on and now looking ahead to it?
Massive balls, mate. Massive, huge balls. I was going to say hairy, but I've got no idea if they're hairy or not, Mick. I mean, he's a man of his word as well. He beat Milos Petracek in the first round, and didn't just beat him, absolutely dominated him. Put on display everything that he has learned from Darren Morris in that barn. And Darren Morris, I always give him a shout out because personality-wise, he's one of my favourite people. Where he's so northern. He is so northern. But he would be someone you'd underestimate as the mind. He's got a catch wrestling background, and he's applied it now to MMA and fighting, and even the techniques that they do in this barn. And when I talk about barn, it's literally a garage. And that's on purpose. And only a very few people are invited there to train, but also can survive training there because the rounds are real. And one of the reasons the room is so small is they want to create constant action, constant pressure, constant anxiety. And even during this camp, they had Mick Stanton in a gas mask doing his rounds. So you think about trying to breathe. First of all, in that room, in the temperature of the summer, with the sweat of 13 other blokes sat in there and rolling and doing what they do at the same time, that in itself makes it a hard place to train. Then you put a gas mask on to do your rounds, and you watch some of the rounds that they've done. If you want to go and I think you can see them on Mick Stanton's Instagram or Darren Morris's. They're real rounds, and he is winning. He's pulling off Kimuras, dominant, and it's all this system, the traps that they set, and they've all got different names, and you watch how they use them and different positions, but they just dominate. They dominate. They create huge pressure. And when we were doing the opening rounds, you looked at Peñas and his style. You looked at Karim Engizek and his style, and actually a pretty nasty matchup style-wise against them is the style of Mick Stanton. So he thinks this is destiny. That's taken some pressure off of him as well. He's had 16 weeks now to prepare for this fight because it was supposed to happen in Eden. And he talks about it like it's not like it's easy, but like he knows something we don't and that Karim doesn't. And I cannot wait to see them lock horns. Karim Engizek unbeaten for 11 years. 11-fight win streak, a lot of finishes, claimed every belt in Germany, claimed the Octagon title against Patrick Kinsella in front of 60,000 fans. He's not someone you take lightly, but you listen to the way Mick Stanton talks about this fight, and you think, okay, so we'll see. Will the grappler, will he be able to get his hands on Engizek? Will he be able to avoid some of those strikes? So that's what it's all about, this fight. And if he does get hold of him, we'll see what level Engizek's grappling at, because I don't think there is. You look at Subzone as well. I'd say that Northwest Fight Academy, they have got top MMA grappling. But you look at what Darren Morris is doing, and particularly not just what he's doing, but how Mick Stanton uses it. And I think there's not many tougher puzzles on the ground than Mick Stanton.
I mean, he's so self-assured. We saw it in the Petracek fight. You see guys where they pull mount, or, they get into a position where they get into side control and they rush. Mick knows exactly what steps he wants to take in every single position. He's so confident within his own abilities and where he's going to go. And to me, the most interesting thing in this fight is who's going to take that backward step. It just feels like a car crash is waiting to happen. Both guys love going forward and being on the front foot for all 15 or 25 minutes of whatever fight they're in.
It's great. It's a great shout. I think one thing that Engizek is equally, he's one of these fighters which is rare, where they're equally as dangerous on the back foot as they are on the front. So you look at his Octagon debut, and again, the opponent wasn't of the level, I believe, of Mick Stanton, but the guy came forward and tried to put the pressure on him, and it was that back, it's his timing, his range, his accuracy is so good. It really is. It's something. It's weird to watch. I've watched the fights back, and it isn't as impressive as when you see what he does live. And that's what Mick Stanton's got to get his head around, because figuratively and literally, he cannot get hit by this guy, and he's going to have to. Even though he's done the rounds, even though he's had teammates replicate the style, it's very different when you see a true technician, a striking master in front of you. It's not even seeing it, it's feeling it, like the range they can cover, the speed, the way to disguise the shot selection is different. And Engizek is that. So that for me is the test for Stanton. But if he can get his hands on him, if he can lay him on the ground, and this is the thing you talked about, the comfort, it's the system. It's total belief in the system that Darren Morris has created. Every single position, he knows what exits he can take, and he knows what traps he can set, and he knows exactly where he can put you next, and he'll just flow. I think they call it the washing machine. They just roll from position to position, knowing what's going to happen. And if you look at even when Engizek gets on the bottom, Stan gets on the bottom, his get-ups and his sweeps are so good. Those Petrushek, and he's a monster. He's massive, and the way he just calmly, hooks the leg, goes under, and then rolls the guy over. Even the corner, I could see of like Reiner's MMA were kind of like, how's he doing this? But he fights every day. It's not training, it's not sparring, and he says this is one of the assets he's got, is that people spar and you have a different mindset when you're sparring. There's a respect, there's an etiquette. People understand if you got a fight coming up, so you know that pressure or those stupid shots, if you got the right partners, won't come. But they fight. They fight in that barn. So he fights every day, and this is just another day to him. But for me, it's how he, takes in the data and calculates what Engizek's got. Because if he doesn't figure that out, and he doesn't realize that that's a different level, with all respect to his training partners, it is a different level of striking, then that's when it'll be a long day for Stanton. But I'm excited for it.
It's going to be amazing to see. And of course, no good card is complete without a great main event. And we've definitely got that here. The women's bantamweight title up for grabs. Cecilia Bolander finally taking on Lucy Sabova. It feels like it's a long time coming, and finally we get it this Saturday.
It's great. It's world class. It's going to be gritty, bloody. It's more than the title. Sabova believes the belt should be hers. She's upset that girl could have 2 fights in Octagon and claim that belt. This is her 10th fight for Octagon, and she has always been, marquee. She's always been a highlight reel. She's always fought tougher and tougher competition, multiple UFC fighters, or ex-UFC fighters, I should say, and done the same to them. Finished them, beat them. And then Bolander's come in, stepped in for her for this rematch, and against Pudilova, which was supposed to happen in December, claimed the belt, and now, wants to keep it. She's got to prove that she deserves that title. And you've talked to her. Cecilia Bolander is so unique, so different. She's a fascinating human being, but she is also a dog. Like, she will get bloodied and beaten. She gets every step of her career, she says it herself, she'll be the underdog, even when she's got the belt, even when, she's getting the spotlight, the main events. But that's just motivation to a lady like that. That is, that is one unique human. And for them two to lock horns, it's one of those fights you don't get very often, especially at this stage of their careers. And I think it will be bloody, and I think it will be an absolute, contender for fight of the year, not even just fight of the night. I think it's going to be something special.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it there. Bolander she's so interesting, because outside the cage, it's like the nicest, kindest, sort of softest person you could meet. So kind. And then she gets inside the cage and it's just this warrior. And it does feel like, on Saturday, we are going to get 25 minutes of just back and forth. Whoever wants it more is going to come out on top. I mean, we've seen Sabova be able to take people down, submit them, same as Bolander. I think we've got the potentials for some of the best scrambles you might ever see in mixed martial arts this Saturday.
They've both got a judo base as well, and there is also another thing on the line because they've got multiple armbar finishes between them. I think it's something like 11, which includes Cecilia Bolander's amateur career as well. So I think it's got, I think they're both going to want to prove themselves in every single area. I just think it's going to be an absolute war. I think I think it's because it's more than the belt. Cecilia Bolander comes from this, I was going to say stupid country. It's not a stupid country. It's a beautiful country. It's just got a stupid look on combat sports that MMA is illegal. 2014, they legalized boxing. That's how ridiculous it is. And you've got athletes like Jack Manson, you've got athletes like Cecilia Bolander who can't get the basic insurance to be where they are. Yet they fly the flag for Norway around the world in the biggest promotions. And I think just what she has to prove to everybody, and that drive of being the outsider is something special. And then you've got the flip of Zvabova believes Octagon is like, that's her cage. That's not just even her promotion. That's her cage. And she is devastating. The fight I always look to with her is the Rosa Gumina fight. Dr. Rosa Gumina, elite kickboxer, moved into MMA, has beaten some good people, just got good experience. Also so athletic, tough, athletic. And Zvabova was beating her already in the round, so it's like two rounds up as they went into the third, and then she was dominating again in the third. And it's the fact she doesn't just refuse, she won't accept just a decision. She thought, I'm better than this girl, not just to beat her, I can finish her. And you look at how she forces the finish. And it's not a phrase you see coaches talk a lot about, positively about forcing something in the fight. But she was determined to finish that fight. And she did it in the third round, claimed another armbar. And that just shows me like just the mindset she's got when she gets in that cage. It's not just about competition. It's not just about outpointing. It's not just about claiming the victory. She wants to leave no doubt in your mind, the commentators' minds, the promotion's minds, the fans' minds, that she was way better than the girl she was facing tonight. So she'll be going in again with that. But I think these two coming together at the stage they're at with all that is on the line, that's the making of a truly great main event.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much for your time today. It's going to be one of the best cards of the year, I think. And yeah, getting the chance to see it in person is just a pinch me sort of moment. So very excited to see it. And thank you very much for your time today again, Bryan.
That's all right. It's a pinch me moment that I'll get to see you as well, my friend. Very excited about that. So look, well done on everything you're doing. And see you in Prague, brother.